Grandpa, how did you do it? I mean, how did you live so frugally and save so much money? I mean, you've been around for so long, but how exactly did you do it? Well, honestly, Brandon, it wasn't easy, and I'm nearly 100 years old, and I was there during the Great Depression. There was a lot of things that I did to make sure that I can save an ample amount of money. Now, I might not have the best recollection of the tips right now, but I did, write it down in this book. So I'm going to give you this book and you can read the tips and hopefully they will help you. Now, the Great Depression was a horrible time during history, and although it happened nearly 90 years ago, some of these frugal living tips that are in this book have stood the test of time and can be used in this very year. So in this video, we're going to be talking about some frugal living tips that have been used in the Great Depression and you can still use right now because they apply to you right now. If you're new to the channel, hey, I'm Brandon Young. Welcome. On this channel, I teach you how to make, save, invest money, and also how to live your most frugal life so you can save and be a better you. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. Now, I know you want to get into these tips, so we're not going to waste any more time. So the first tip is you don't need to buy everything new. Now, there's a certain misconception that when you need to get an item, you always need to buy it new. Have you ever heard of the quote, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Sometimes we can use used items, or sometimes we have items that are already good. There's nothing wrong with them. So keep on using them until it eventually breaks down and doesn't work anymore. You don't always need to go out and get a brand new item. Now, tip number 2 is to prepare your own food. Now, in this day and age where Uber Eats, Postmates, all these different applications are easily accessible, it is so hard to cook your own food. But never fear, the supermarket is across the street. Go ahead, go to the supermarket, go and get your own food and prepare your own food. You're gonna wish you did because you're gonna save so much money over time. Do you know how much Uber Eats costs over a certain amount of time? If you're easily paying $20 every single time you buy food, that's unacceptable. Prepare your own food. Now, number 3 is don't pay for things that you can do yourself. Now, with this age of apps, it's like you can get your car washed on the fly, you can get your glass cleaned on the fly, and these are things that we can do by ourselves. But we've become so, lazy, and we're so easily ready to go on an app and get these things done. If you can do it yourself, if you can wash your own clothes, if you can fix your own light bulb, go ahead and do it. It's gonna save you so much money over time. Trust me. Number 4 is to repurpose what you can. Now, there's a lot of times where we have things in our house where we feel like, okay, there's no need for them. But if you can find a way to repurpose an item, go ahead and do it. You may have an old table that you might not have a use for as a table anymore, but possibly if you can break it down and turn it into a chair or something like that, go ahead and do it, because you're not gonna have to go out there and spend money on having to buy a new chair when you can repurpose that table and find a new use for it. So go ahead and try to find something in your house that you can repurpose. Number 5 is to save for things that you want in advance. Now, all the time we do these binge buys where we go into the store, we see something that we want and we go ahead and we buy it. But sometimes if you see an item and you can save for it in advance, you can prepare yourself. Okay, this is gonna be an expensive buy. Should I, put down $200 for the next 5 to 6 months so I can readily save for it so I'm ready for this purchase, or should I just go ahead and buy it right now? And sometimes what you'll find is in the future when you're looking at it, you're saving your money and you're like, man, maybe this purchase isn't worth it. Maybe I shouldn't go ahead and buy this. It might actually save you money over time, because sometimes when you do these binge buys and you buy things and then you get it and it's in your hand and you're like, man, I didn't really need this. But if you're, preparing for it, and you're saving, by the second month and third month, you'll usually know whether you should get the item or not. And if you decide not to get it, then you still have that $400 to $600 saved up, ready to use for a new purpose. In the comment section below, let me know what is your favorite frugal living tip. I want to know what your tips are because I want to keep on adding to this list. Now, number 6 is to know the difference between a need and a want. A want may include, clothes, belts, sneakers. Those are wants. These are things that you not necessarily need, but these things are, you got a paycheck. You're like, oh, I see some shoes. I want them. But they're not gonna make and break you. They're not gonna hurt you if you don't get it. Needs are like, okay, you need to go pay your rent. You need to make sure your utilities are paid, that you got that electric bill paid, because without electricity, without heat, without these things, your life will be a living hell. Now, number 7 is to keep a garden. Now, keeping a garden is actually not that hard, and growing your own vegetables isn't that hard. You can go to a gardening store, get the appropriate seeds, and get started growing your own fruits and vegetables very easily. Now, this is a great way to save a lot of money long term because, one, you're growing your own fruits and vegetables, so there's no need to get them from the supermarket, as well as you can have some extra surplus on hand, possibly sell them on the side, who knows? Now, number 8 is to use every last drop. I don't know how many times I've had a bottle of lotion, I've used it, I've kept pressing the button and no more lotion comes out, and we automatically think there's no more lotion. But you turn that bad boy around and lo and behold, you got another week worth of lotion. Try to use every single last drop of everything that you have. That includes toothpaste, lotion, jelly, all these different things. Try to squeeze every last bit that you can out of it. Now, number 9 is to buy what is in season. When you go to the supermarkets, you'll usually find that you'll have fruits and vegetables that are currently in season. Now, what happens is these fruits and vegetables are usually the cheapest compared to the other ones because they are in season. So there is usually a surplus of them. So in turn, they can sell it at a cheaper price. Try to buy fruits and vegetables that are in season because usually they're gonna pass on the savings to you. Now, number 10 is to find extra ways to make money. Okay, I understand you got a job, you're making good money there, but who doesn't like more money? Go out there, find new side hustles, go out there, find new ways to keep on creating more income for yourself, because you'll never know when you'll need that extra income. Now, number 11 is to be more mindful of utility usage. Are you leaving all your lights on? Are you leaving faucets on when you're not home? These are little things that you can tweak and actually save a lot of money over the year. So make sure when you're leaving the house, make sure all the lights are off. Leaving the house, make sure all the water, the faucets are off. And also, these companies do send you letters that show you exactly how much electricity you're using or how much water you're using. So if the diagram is telling you you're using a lot of electricity, try to cut down on that. Now, number 12 is to maintain your belongings. Now, most of us, for the majority, have cars, and this is an example of maintaining your belongings. A car, depending on how you treat it, if you do regular maintenance on it, that car can span out and last you a couple of years if you take care of that car great. Keep that maintenance up on that car. Be sure to maintain your belongings, take care of the things that you have, and try to span out the lifetime of them by taking good care of them. Now, number 13 is to find inexpensive ways to enjoy yourself. Now, a lot of times we fall into peer pressure, and when we fall into peer pressure, we end up paying for things that we might not necessarily want to do. This might include going to bars, clubs, parties. Depending on what type of person you are, you may not enjoy these things, but because your friends want to go, you usually go, and you spend a lot of money when you get there. So try to find inexpensive ways to entertain yourself. This may include, playing chess, going to the park. These are nice free ways that you can entertain yourself but not break the bank. Now, these tips have obviously stood the test of time. My grandfather has used them and saved so much money. So in the comment section below, let me know which one of these tips are you gonna use. Are you gonna use the know the difference between a need or want? Or are you gonna use the maybe get an extra side hustle? Let me know, which one are you going to use? If you found this video helpful, be sure to give this video a like. Let's get this video to about 35 likes to 50 likes. I know that we can do it. And subscribe to the channel for more useful information. I'm Brandon Young. I will see you in my next video. Peace.